Hi everyone, welcome back to Dave's Whisky Reviews. Today we've got mystery review number 19 and 20. These are two samples that a very dear friend and colleague Mike sent me, gave to me. These two samples here, and we've got the reveals in this envelope here. He says he thought it'd be entertaining if I tasted or puzzled over both in the same video. So that is what I'm going to do, is I'm going to have a taste of these together and sort of compare them. I've been wondering, I've been trying to figure out why would he have done that? Are these two whiskies similar? Are they from the same distillery but different styles? Or from the same region, different distilleries? But I can wonder all I like. I've really just got to get down to it and taste these whiskies. So got them marked number 1 and number 2. So this is number 1 here, which is looking like a bit of a lighter colour. I'd say that's light gold. And the other one is looking more amber, number 2 here. More of an amber colour could mean that there's some sherry casks involved, but we will get to that very shortly. In terms of the viscosity, we're going to have a look here with both the samples. Number 1 is looking like quite a high viscosity, I would say. Very slow moving legs and quite thin. And number 2 is a bit lower, thicker legs. I'd say that's sort of medium viscosity. We'll get to that. We'll get to that one in a minute. Let's start with number 1. The nose on number 1. Very light, I would say. Light, fresh, malty. Scotch malt whiskey style. I've no idea what these could be. It could be bourbons, could be world whiskies of some sort. Pineapple. Pineapple in particular. Really fresh. But a very, very light one indeed. Not getting so too much on the nose. There's a couple of distilleries that come to mind when that lightness is mentioned. Glen Moray is maybe the main one. Glen Moray has got the tallest distilleries in Scotland and the tallest stills in Scotland, pardon me, and that tends to give you a bit of a lighter style. Balblair is another one. Not getting too much from this first one. It's that fruitiness, pineapple, malt, maybe a bit of hessian, but that is about it. Let's have a look with number 2 here. Yeah, immediately with this one, it's showing you a bit more. It's a bit sweeter, more fruitiness, more raisin, sherry. I think it is sherried. Quite a thick, sort of syrupy nose. Honey, thick honey. But again, there's not too much complexity to either of these, I would say. This one is very, very light. This one is sherried, but there's not much beyond that. There's not much behind that, I wouldn't say. I don't think either of these are peated. Neither of them are throwing up kind of these smoky notes. Red apple, I'm getting a bit of red apple from number 2 now. So we'll move on to the taste and have a bit of a taste of number 1 to start with. It's a bit of power to number 1. Definitely some ABV to back up the flavours that are there. Very dry whiskey, and then quite juicy into the finish. You're getting oak. There's quite a bit of oak in there. There is this sort of pineapple note coming out again. But a very dry one indeed, and quite spicy as well. Quite spicy into sort of the development and the finish, coming through this kind of black pepper sort of note to it, and a bit of ginger maybe. I would very much be leaning towards Balblair for this one in particular. A young Balblair, and that could work with the colour because Balblair is natural colour. Could work with the ABV because they're always 46%. Number 2 though. We will have a bit more of a look. We will have a taste of this one now. Immediately, this one's much softer, less alcohol, more sweetness, kind of dialed up. You've got raisin, you've got the sherry, orange. Quite a mouth-watering sort of finish, not nearly as dry as number one was. And a bit of coffee into the finish as well. But what is it? That's the question. Something sherry, definitely. Maybe a Tamdhu. Something like that is what my mind goes to immediately. It's got that kind of sherried style. The little pastry, a little sort of vanilla coming through into the taste now. I'm like running through all the distilleries that these could possibly be, and I'll tell you what, it's very, very difficult. These two in particular are giving me some trouble. So this one, number one, is stronger. This one, number two, is weaker. This is from a bourbon barrel. This is from a sherry cask. Possibly a sherry finish. Why would he get me to taste these two together? Why would he do that? Either these are from the same distillery, or they're complete opposites. The other thing that could be bringing that lightness to number one would be the use of purifiers. Ardbeg is maybe the most famous distillery for using purifiers, but there's quite a few other distilleries as well that use them, including Glen Grant. And I've done an article on purifiers that I'll link down in the description. So, possibilities. This one, we've got Balblair, Glenmorangie, and Old Pulteney. This one, we've got Tamdhu, Glengoyne maybe? Glengoyne? That is a possibility. This being 46%, thinking it's 46% anyway, I think that I'm going to have to go with this one, would be Balblair, 2002, but bottled in 2012. So 10 years old, 46% alcohol. This one is more tricky because that character, it's really covering up that spirit character, that sherry. But the question is, what sort of expressions are this from this sort of sherry barrels or sherry finishes? Having not tried much Tamdhu, I think I'm going to have to go with Glengoyne 10, which I think is at 40%. Yeah. The moment of truth. The moment of truth has arrived. So we will have a look here with the reveals of these whiskies. Number one, number two. Let's have a look. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. That's very interesting. So whiskey number one isn't any of the distilleries that I thought it was. It's a Glen Moray, and it's an independent bottling from Cadenhead, distilled 1998, aged 19 years in bourbon barrels, bottled at 55.5%. Oh my god. To get that very, very wrong is quite embarrassing. And to think that it's not that old, or not that strong as well. I mean, I guess 46% instead of 55.5. That is quite embarrassing indeed. Let's have a look with number two. Ah, okay. Yeah, so he's gone with opposites. Instead of whiskies from maybe the same distillery, he's gone with complete opposites. So this is Highland Park. I would not have guessed Highland Park. Dragon Legend, which is the new no age statement whiskey that they started doing in Tesco, 43.1% alcohol. That is very, very interesting indeed. So this was Highland Park Dragon Legend, and you're getting none of the smoke that you would normally get from a Highland Park from this. I mean, I said that both of these completely unpeated, and it's very, very sweet for a Highland Park. The sherry is very, very obvious on that. More of this kind of sherry finished kind of aspects. And this one, I mean, I've had a couple of Cadenheads Glen Morays now. I had kind of two of the small batches that I've reviewed quite recently, and some of the older ones. And I can't say, although I love Cadenheads and I think they're fantastic, the company's fantastic and what they do is brilliant, I can't say I'm a big fan of their Glen Morays, to be perfectly honest. Generally, I've been scoring these kind of the low 70s. Well, this has been educational, in a word. I am happy with what I mean, that's the thing about blind tasting, is that you have no idea what the whiskies are. I'm just giving a guess as to what I think they are based on the taste and based on the smell and the viscosity and the colour. And I don't think, I wouldn't say that I'm regretting, any of my decisions, any of the things that I'm guessing. Maybe there was one, the Yamazaki, but other than that, I am very happy with what I've been guessing and blind tasting as, because this one definitely did taste like a Bao Blair. This one I was very unsure about, which I'm sure you'll get from the video. But there's no way I would have guessed Highland Park from this, and I think that tells you a lot about the whiskey as well. But anyway, I know it's been a long one, but it's been 2 reviews, 2 whiskies, so it will be a bit of a longer video. But thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you've really enjoyed. If you're looking for my notes on these 2 whiskies, I'll write some up and I'll put them down in the description. But for the moment, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you next time.